are live.
Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today, and I am your host, Andy Lang. It is Thursday. We got a loaded show. We're going to start talking about the UFC event this weekend with Kyle Anthony. Dave Mason, hopefully going to join us to talk about the inside scoop on where the sharp money is coming, and we're going to talk to Nick Parsons. We're going to get his thoughts on CFL as well as some college football games. So Gianni is recording for UFC, so we don't have a Steam report from him. But you guys get the gift that keeps on giving. It's my Steam report where I fumble my way through this one and try and replace Gianni for a few minutes. All right, let's start with preseason. There's really not much that we haven't talked about this week. Looks like Las Vegas is up to 5. There's been some action on the over, opened at 35. That's now 37, 37.5 at some places. Cincinnati is minus 6.5. Dan and I are going to talk about that game between the Bengals and the Eagles. And the Colts are all the way up to minus 6.5 here in Indianapolis. I can tell you they have announced Anthony Richardson is going to get the first shot, and this is a full-blown quarterback battle. This spot has not been determined, so expect really, really hard play from the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe look at a first half on that one against Baltimore, because Baltimore doesn't look like they're playing for anything. Colts, they're going to be showing their stuff. All right, we go to WNBA. Got a few games tonight. The Chicago Sky have that number has gone up on the total. Open at 156.5. That's now at 161. I got a free play in that one coming up. I'll tell you guys about that one. My thoughts on that one. Over has been bet up Indiana Phoenix, and money has come in on the Fever. Phoenix opened up at minus 6. That thing's down to minus 3.5. And nobody's betting on the Connecticut Sun. We already know that. So only a few games in MLB. I do not see much. I think the only thing that jumps out is there are some books that have moved this Seattle-Chicago White Sox line to like minus 295. So knock yourself out if you want to lay minus 300 on a baseball game. That is insanity to me. So, all right, let's talk some college football. Nick Parsons, best jacket in the business, hands down. Nick, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Andy. Yep, looking forward to getting into it. I mean, a great time of year, college football, NFL. I mean, week 1 of the preseason starts tonight.
Let's do it, man. Let's talk a little college football. You gave us 3 teams to look out for last week. Let's do it again. Right. Let's talk about some teams that you see some surprise value in that maybe are a little bit off the beaten path for people. What do you like?
Right, yeah. So just a reminder, last week I gave out 3 dark horse picks to make the college football championship. That was Boise State, Navy, and James Madison. And so, yeah, here's some a look at 3 other teams, and maybe the people in the can agree or disagree with me in the comments here. Focusing on programs that are outside the top tier favorites like Texas and Ohio State, but still have a legitimate shot at winning the national championship. And so my first one, Andy, is on Clemson, and that's available at plus 1,000 at FanDuel. And so, I mean, they have an elite level talent. They have quarterback Cade Klubnik, and so he's a Heisman dark horse. He threw for 3,600 yards and 36 touchdowns last season. He has a dynamic receiving core. 81% of their production is returning from last year, and so that's the most in the entire FBS. Dabo Swinney, he, of course, has a winning pedigree. And so I think that the Tigers are poised for a deep playoff run. That's team number 1. And the second team that I like is Penn State at plus 800 at DraftKings. And so they have an excellent quarterback in Drew Aller, of course. He has 23 wins as a starter. He has many strong running backs returning, and their defense was among the nation's best last year. They had their first college football playoff appearance, and so that sort of signals a breakthrough here under James Franklin. So I think that they're a serious contender to pull off an upset as well. And then finally, I like LSU. This is at plus 1,800. They have Garrett Nussmeier. He threw for over 4,000 yards last season, and they have a top-ranked transfer portal class coming into this year. So they have a tough SEC schedule, but their offensive firepower and their quarterback's experience, it also makes them a legitimate shot, I think, at possibly winning the national championship.
I love what you said about Clemson returning. Can you say that number again about how many guys they're returning? And like that was a really, really important thing that we need to take note of.
Yeah, 81% of their production is returning, so that's the most in the FBS.
That's man. In the age of NIL and everything, continuity could reign supreme. I love
Exactly.
that look.
Yeah,
Absolutely love that look. Let's talk CFL here real quick. You got Lions
Sure.
and the Tiger Cats. It's just felines galore in this one. You got Lions, you got Tigers, you got
Right.
Cats, you got Lions, Tiger, Cats. What's your breakdown on this game here in CFL?
Well, I'm sure if you were to look at the line there, you'd probably guess who I'm on in this one, Andy. But yeah, Hamilton here. It's now 6-2 after 6 straight victories. It most recently won 28-24 at Edmonton last weekend. And so they've won 3 straight on the road, both straight up and against the spread. One of those games was a 37-33 win at BC 2 weeks ago. The last time that Ticats played at home was a month ago. They won 23-20 over Ottawa, and they weren't able to cover the 5.5-point spread in that one. For BC, it's 3-5, and it's been off since that loss to Hamilton. So it had a bye week last week. The Lions, they've dropped 2 straight at home, both straight up and against the spread. But now here in this revenge spot on the road, I think at the very least, they're going to keep this one close enough to cover with the points. Of course, I'm not ruling out the outright victory. For the Ticats, they have a high-profile game at 6-1 Saskatchewan after this. So it sort of sets up classically as a letdown spot. They had the 3 straight up and against the spread wins all on the road. Now they return home, but they have a look-ahead game to the best in the West, the 6-1 at Saskatchewan. And so when you add the letdown spot and the look-ahead spot, that usually in my world sets up as a trap game. And so I do think this is kind of a trap. So conversely, it's a pivotal moment for the Lions. They're off the 2 straight losses. They're 3-5. They're playing with revenge. They're off the bye week. I mean, it's I hate to say a do or die, but it's almost like a do or die for BC here. So for me, betting for the most part is about betting great situations. And so I just think that this one sets up really well for BC.
I mean, your middle name is Take the Points.
Exactly.
I love it, man. Yeah, and I had to tee you up, but yeah, we know when Nick Parsons comes on, you're getting a team with the points as always. So love the continuity, and I love that you stick to it when you have something that works. You stick to it. We always try and find these trends and try and find these streaks and just keep riding it. So I love that you come on and you're always taking a team with the points. Your record speaks for itself. It's doing really well. So tell us about that and tell us what you got going on over at Sports Memo.
I'm the number 1 handicapper over at Sports Memo, guys, since the beginning of November 2024 in all sports. I've been playing with house money in 7 different sports since last summer. This year, I'm playing in house sports in the CFL. So make sure to go check out my CFL packages that I have up for this weekend. And if you want to know a little bit about Sports Memo, guys, they have lots of different specials going on over there this summer as well. Andy talked about, or I'm not sure if he's talked about it yet, but they have a Flex Picks option, which is very similar to WagerTalk. There's also a $5 Wednesday, where every Wednesdays there's $5 packages, and then also 50% off Fridays, where every handicapper releases one 50% off package as well.
Great stuff from Nick Parsons. Always brings you a team with the points, good college football, and the best jacket in the game. Nick, awesome stuff. Great segment. Appreciate you. Go check him out over at Sports Memo. Thanks a lot, Nick, for coming on every Thursday. Nick Parsons, everybody. Go check him out over at Sports Memo. Let's do all around the world. Let's get some free plays for the people. We got a couple of plays here that are going to be in some sports I bet you didn't see coming. So let's start with MLB, and we talked about riding streaks and trends, and dang it, we just keep coming back to these old Atlanta Braves. We're going to fade them with the Marlins today. Carrasco was sharp the first time pitching for Atlanta. He's 38 years old. That was his first start in a long time. He's still got a 5.68 ERA, 1.57 whip. And Perez for Miami has been really good, 2.7 ERA, 0.94 whip. That is from Ben Burns on the WagerTalk free picks page at wagertalk.com. If you want even more free picks, go to the free picks page. A lot of really good stuff up there. All right, we're going to go to the Dream and the Sky. I mentioned this game earlier. I like the Sky team over 74.5. Atkins is back for the Sky. They still don't have Angel Reese, so they're keeping this number low. They scored 78 points on Tuesday, going over their team total. We talked about how many injuries the Sky team has. When they start getting these players back, look for them to go over. The Dream have given up over this total to opponents in 6 out of their last 7 games. Sneaky total here that the books have not adjusted for with Atkins back in the lineup. Chicago Sky over 74.5. Going to NASCAR, Shane Van Gisbergen. I know none of you know who he is unless you watch NASCAR. Here's what you need to know about him. He is a road course specialist. This man knows how to drive road courses better than any driver in NASCAR. He has won the last 3 road courses. That's insane. That is like almost impossible to do, and that's how good he is. They're racing at Watkins Glen road course this week, and he screwed up this race last year, and he's already been quoted saying he is still mad about it. He wants his revenge. Look for him to get the win again. You're getting him at plus 135. Trust me, if this man qualifies on the front row, minus 150 for him to win. So you can lock in Shane Van Gisbergen to win Watkins Glen. Nick Parsons mentioned it. We have a killer deal for Flex Picks, 3-day Flex Pass, only $48, saving you over 30%. All about flexibility. You choose the handicapper that you want each day, every single play they release. You want to plan ahead? You can schedule picks in a week in advance. You want to switch experts? Great. You want to go with Nick? Fine. You want to go with somebody else? Fine. It's up to you. This is why the Flex Picks work so good, that you get the power to choose which handicapper you want. 3-day Flex Pass is live. Do not miss it. Only $48. Saves you over 30%. For example, I have a 5% best bet that is up in UFC. So you want to use me for the next couple days? You can. You want to use Kyle Anthony, who we're bringing on right now? Absolutely get those Flex Picks. That way you can use that one on Kyle. Kyle, welcome. I think you and I had really good weeks in UFC last week. Correct? I think you nailed yours, right? Your big play?
Yeah. It almost was a nice 4-0 night for us. The only miss was the Rebavix decision. That was a absolute wild decision there, but wild fight. I shouldn't say wild decision, yes. Wild fight. But awesome, hit the 4%, and we're coming off nice back-to-back weeks, and we got a good card this weekend, a great card next weekend. So pumped about what's going to be going on the next couple weeks.
Justin says, white shirt, Kyle? Laundry day? No, I like the white shirt. White.
Yeah. Look at this.
No, laundry day if he comes on in pajamas. Then it's laundry day. Or no shirt. Then we're really looking at it. So
it's a problem.
You mentioned it. It is such a weird card, Kyle. The matchmakers had to have been drunk when they made this card, because some of these
and normally it's just before these pay-per-views, they just mash a couple guys together. Hey, this one's got 3 losses or 2 losses. This one's got 2 or 3 losses. All right, one of these guys we're just gonna get rid of at the end of this fight. Like, that's pretty much kind of what happens.
It is cutting season. I mean, like Juice Man versus Rafael Cercaric. Like, come on, give me a break. Well, let's go to the main event. Let's talk Anthony Hernandez and Roman Dolidze. And just because it's a weird card, there's a lot of really good betting opportunities on this one. So let's break down this main event, Kyle. Hernandez, Dolidze, who you got?
Yeah, so in the main event here, we've got Anthony Hernandez. He's minus 330 on the comeback here. We've got Roman Dolidze. He's plus 270. Now, we all know, obviously, you look at, Hernandez here. He is a cardio machine. He is the definition of what weaponizing cardio is. He comes forward. He's relentless. He'll push you up against the fence, hold you there, keep you there, look to take you down a little bit, rinse and repeat. And what he really looks to do is, his skills are not that high when you're talking about just on the feet. But what he can do is he can just be relentless and really just drain and melt his opponent. He's been very good at doing that overall. It's worked out very well for him. And that's really what he does. That's his path here. Now, you look at Roman on the other side here. He is an elite level grappler. The guy has, he's a world champion grappler overall. And, he has a 33% takedown defense rate. It's not the greatest, but it's more because he's just comfortable off of his back. When anyone's looking to shoot, he's kind of like, okay, this is all right. This is home for me. And even when he's on his back, we've seen it, even against Jack Hermanson, when he's down, he has these slick reversals, these slick sweeps, these, his transitions are just tricky. He just does a lot of great things on the ground. And we're also kind of seeing him come in in really like career best shape over the last couple of fights. Although he's the older guy, I think he has really looked good. But what I'm looking at here, and you look at Fluffy. Fluffy is a great fighter and all those things. But at this particular price tag, he does have some holes in his game. And I think one of the biggest holes in his game is that he can be hurt. This guy has been hurt in probably all of his fights. He does come back and win. Credit to him and pushing through adversity. We saw him against Pereira. Pereira lands a beautiful body kick early, almost folded him. But again, he was able to push through, all of a sudden implement his game plan, melt Pereira, and get the victory. And even we saw it against Edmund Shabazian. Shabazian was a guy that I don't really rate that high, but even there, you got Hernandez diving in looking for takedowns, and all of a sudden, Shabazian has this front choke on him and brings Fluffy to the ground. There are these things that he has to get through, and I think that's a little bit dangerous here, especially at this price tag. But you got Roman, who has big power in his hands. The guy has a very big upside finishing ability, and he's elite on the ground. So that's really where I think this gets interesting, is because Fluffy's going to shoot. He's not going to look to stand. He's not going to look to be at range. He's just going to shoot and shoot. And that is going to provide opportunities, I think, for Roman here. Roman's a guy that does have that grappling. He does have that elite level, ability on the ground. And if Fluffy's looking to continually push there and maybe stick his head in the wrong spot, it's going to offer opportunities for Roman here. I think this line is wide here. I do think that you do have, a path here for Hernandez to really kind of work that cardio. But I think that the upside here, the damaging shots on the feet that Roman can land, that he can possibly hurt him on the feet, plus on the ground, I think this line is too wide. To me, this is the dog or pass spot. I think the plus 270 is very generous here in this spot. So I do like Roman to get the job done.
All right. WagerTalk TV says Kyle in a onesie for laundry day would be epic. Kyle, do you own a onesie?
I might put one on. If I have a good winning day, maybe I'll put on next week.
Okay, well, here's what I'll do. If you end up with a onesie, you and I will pick a fight. We'll go head to head on, because I do have a onesie. My buddy used to work for Fireball, and they made 100 Fireball Christmas onesies, and I got one of them. This thing is the most epic onesie I have ever seen. So if you get a onesie, you and I will go head to head, and the loser has to
you can't. Hey, a onesie with alcohol on it. That's a win. That's a win.
It's amazing. All right, let's go to another fight here that you want to talk about, and then of course Kyle and I are going to do Sell Me. We're going to talk about Edwards and Priscilla Cachoeira. I know where you're going with this one. It's sneaky, and I love it. Talk this one out.
So here we've got Jocelyn Edwards here. She's minus 350 in the comeback here on Cachoeira. She is plus 255 now. You did see Edwards come in at the UFC, 25 years old, and not really looking that great. And I think over the last 4 years or so, she's really started to just elevate her skill set. She started to round out her skill set, look a little bit better overall, and really just well-rounded. Now on the other side here, you've got Cachoeira here, who is the zombie girl, and they call her that for all the right reasons. She's going to come forward. She's going to eat punches. They must be brain-flavored the way that she just absolutely just absorbs damage, lackluster with striking defense, does not care if she gets hit, but she's going to push out volume if she can. And you look at it, she's got a negative striking differential, a very large one. She lands 4 significant strikes per minute and absorbs 7. Not that good. Very hittable in the pocket. And, one of the things that I think is even adds to this is that this is short notice for her. This is even on top of that. She's short notice. She's hittable. And you also add in the fact that she's 36 years old. So there's a lot that doesn't really add up for her in this spot, especially obviously we're looking at the price tag. But the largest advantage for her here, I think, is the grappling. I think she can piece up Cachoeira on the feet. I think she can get the takedowns. Anyone who's looked to take Cachoeira down is able to. Priscilla just does not have get up ability, doesn't have scrambling ability, doesn't have submission game, and she can get stuck on her back. And that's where I think you could really see Edwards finding success. Over her last 4 fights, she landed 10 takedowns. So I think it's a spot where it's a clear vulnerability. It's in the apex cage. I think she can cut that distance, get these takedowns. And you look at Priscilla, out of her 6 career losses, 4 of them are by submission. I do think that you're going to see Edwards get top control and kind of have a choice between, ground and pound finish or submission. And that's really where I'm going with this here. I do think that she's going to find that top control. She's going to find the ability to really just kind of wear on her. Again, short notice for Priscilla here. I do like Jocelyn Edwards inside the distance, getting off the minus 350 number. And you get inside the distance at plus 185. And I really think she puts a stamp on this fight. And I think very low of Priscilla. So I do think Edwards gets the finish.
I love that. I love that breakdown. Jocelyn Edwards and finishes do not go together in the same sentence very often, but that's a fantastic,
I know, right?
Absolutely fantastic look. So, all right, let's bring on Dan and let's do Sell Me. This is here's the concept. Dan picks a fight from off the card. Me and Kyle do not know what it is, and then Dan assigns each of us the fighter, and we have to make the case for it. You let us know in the comment section who you like the best. All right, Dan, what's the fight? Who do we get assigned here?
It's one of my favorite segments every week, not only because of my MS Paint graphic that we have here, but guys, I think this one is an interesting one because I don't think in all of our weeks doing Sell Me have we had a situation where a fighter was scheduled to fight somebody else, fight gets canceled, and now we have a new fight here. So I'm looking at Ode Osbourne taking on Steve Erceg. That's the fight for me, and I get it. This price is for lack of a better term, gentlemen, dog shit. You have almost like you shop around. This is like a almost 6-1 favorite that you have in Erceg. He was originally scheduled, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I might be reading this wrong. Hyung-Sung Park was the original fight that Erceg was supposed to have. I'm not sure when it was canceled. That's why I defer to you guys. But huge favorite now, as Ode Osbourne is the dog that you're getting around like plus 430 on the take back. So Kyle, is the way that I'm reading this correct? Is huge favorite in Erceg. Does this dog have even a semblance of a chance? You better hope they do, because your job is to sell me on Ode Osbourne. What do you think, Kyle?
Yes.
All right. So you look at Steve Erceg here. Now, this guy, he's fought, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. Not good. Yes, he has lost to some high-level guys, but really, the way he even got to the title was knocking out Matt Schnell. And Matt Schnell, that's what he does best, is get knocked out. Anyone who fights him gets that free t-shirt that says, I knocked out Matt Schnell. Since then, I haven't been that impressed really with Erceg. He had a scrappy title fight with Pantoja, but I do think that this is a spot where you can really have Ode, who can go out there. He's going to have the 5-inch reach advantage. He's going to be more explosive. We've seen Erceg be a little chinny there in the pocket. I think he can be hit. He is really primarily a wrestler, but he has really just kind of fell in love with the striking. And I think that can help Ode here. I know it's short notice, but it's going to be really interesting in that first round. After the first round, it could get a little bit more on the Erceg side, but I think that Ode can come forward, utilize some of that range, have the more power, land the more damaging shots. So I'm going Ode Osbourne to get the job done.
Well,
Poor
Andy,
poor Kyle. Kyle, hats off to you. You had a brutal job to do right there.
Wait, me and Dan both wearing white shirts.
It's laundry day. I literally went.
You can't do me like that. You can't do me on laundry day like that. You can't do me on laundry day like that.
On the white shirts, I was like, oh shit. The chat already hates me. I'm about to get even more hate for the white shirt on laundry day. One thing I will say, Andy, sure, it was a tough spot for Kyle on the handicap, but you also have to explain to me why a guy who's lost 3 straight fights is worth laying $6 on. So maybe it's not so easy.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy. Go ahead.
Okay, he's lost to either the current champion or champion contenders. So let's take a look at Ode Osbourne. Ode Osbourne won his last fight. Congratulations. He knocked out a guy who won a split decision on Contender Series. And by the way, Ode lost the first round in that one. Ode's 13-8. He's terrible. He makes dumb mistakes every single fight. He just doesn't have that dog in him, and they want Steve Erceg to get back on the winning ways. Steve Erceg was a darling. He saved a couple of fights for them. He got elevated way too high. This is for him to get back on track. Striking is going to be better. Cardio is going to be better. Even if he gets it on the ground, I think he's going to be better than Odie. This is a no-brainer here on Erceg. And by the way, Dan, Park, the reason Park didn't fight was because they moved him to get his ass kicked on Saturday, and Kyle and I both cashed on fading Park. So that's why Park didn't fight. So it's Erceg all day. And Kyle, shout out to you for taking the Odie Osbourne side. That was very, very nice of you.
Kyle, I think for the first time I have screwed you and sell me. I mean, you did. I like the reach advantage. However, a $6
let's get back to the 5-inch reach advantage. So he's got the reach advantage.
Let's only focus on the reach. So if we're only on the reach, Kyle wins that one. Yes. I think the decision may go to Andy on that one. Comment below. We already got Kylie Reynolds saying Erceg all day. Let us know. And if you have any other questions for fights, ask these guys in the comments below. They'll be hopping in the comments up to fight time. But great stuff as always, gentlemen. Onesie out. White shirts are great.
Yes. So in all seriousness, that fight is not on our official plays. Let's get serious for a second. Let's talk about real plays that we do have for clients. Kyle, tell everyone what you have up for this UFC card.
Yeah, so like you said, coming off another profitable evening last week, really like this spot here. And again, like we said, like sometimes it's not about these high-level cards. People love betting the high-level cards. They're the sexy ones. They're the, maybe more recognizable names. But what makes this sport profitable is the fact that you can bet it year-round. There's 6, 7, whatever it is, weeks off. So this is another spot here, not the highest level card, but there are some good betting opportunities here. So I do have a 4% play up right now. Do have 2 other plays with it that are at plus money. So really like the spots that I have right now. Going to be adding to it as we get closer to fight night, probably about 5 plays overall. You can check it out, WagerTalk.com.
Kyle Anthony, one of the best, coming off another profitable weekend. Kyle, let's do this again. Let's you and I profit next this Saturday. We come back and talk about how well we did. So thanks very much, everybody in the chat. Kylie didn't know the athletics game already started. Yeah, those day games, they get you all the time. So, all right, Dan, come on in here. We're going to talk the Bengals and the Eagles here. Actually, Dan, can you put yourself on screen real quick? I have to say something here.
Oh God.
No, I really mean this. So one of the reasons why I agreed to host the show is I get to work with great people. Tuesday morning, I logged in, told Dan we're going to have to say goodbye to our dog. I didn't even really ask for anything. I just said, hey, we may need to have a host on standby. And within a short period of time, you had that day covered, you had Wednesday covered, you had Thursday covered. I didn't ask for it. You guys just did it. And that meant the world to me. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Dan. It's those little gestures. And a wise man once told me, don't chase money, chase people. Always work with the best people. And I just want to say thank you because you guys are the best people, Dan. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that.
And Andy, I mean, I've been with WagerTalk. I think I joined around 2020. So I've been here with the company for 5 years, started just doing a little bit of production here and there. And I can echo those same sentiments. What keeps you with the company for more than a couple years in today's world is loving the people that you work with, loving what you do. And, I don't just say this, because we're on air here together. I love working with the team that we have. I mean, it really does end up becoming like a little mini family. We have a very small but mighty team. So 1,000%, dude, we've all been through it. I mean, Johnny Detroit said, I like animals more than people. So that's probably a surprise to no one. But yeah, that's absolute no brainer, man. We all got your back, and props to you for rebounding, to doing a hell of a job, man. When we even had to put down our cat this last year, there was no way in hell I would have been hosting a show 24 hours after. So drop some love here, Andy, in the live comments. Hit that like button and below drop some good words. But yeah, no brainer, man. I love the team that we work with, and you got our back, we got your back, brother.
And I got to tell you this. I didn't even know we were going to get the diagnosis on Monday night. But Monday during the day, I was like, I'm going to do a video with Guinness. And we decided to do Rangers over 3.5 team total. And it won. Guinness went out on top. 1-0, baby. 1-0.
Yeah, not surprising. Not surprising at all.
All right.
Not surprising at all.
All right. Let's do this. Let's talk Bengals. Let's talk your Philadelphia Eagles. Huge line. This thing was at like -1. Now it's Bengals -6.5. Over under 35.5. I love your comment right before the show. What'd you say?
Yeah. So for me, we got 6.5 now that we're seeing for Cincinnati. And this thing opened at a pick'em. So I'm just saying that's a hell of a line move. And that's what happens in preseason, right? I was talking with one of the people in the chat. Preseason is one of the very few times that a coach actually tells you what their game plan is. And under Nick Sirianni, the Eagles, they really haven't cared about the preseason. It's just not what they do. In their championship season last year, they played 21 games. So they try and make sure that they have their starters for the long haul. Cincinnati, I think, is seeing how horribly they started last year, including Joe Burrow's injury into that. And they're saying, we don't want to stumble out of the gate. I think you're going to see that across the NFL. You talked about with the Colts, what they're doing, Anthony Richardson playing. I think you're not going to see starters playing whole games, but you're going to see starters more often here in the preseason simply because of how awful offenses started last season, and fantasy players know that well. Now, this game specifically, Andy, and we'll talk, with Dave Mason about these line moves that we've been seeing, but starting at around a pick'em -1 and shooting up to 6.5, all because of the announcement that Joe Burrow is going to play a couple series. We had this thing move up a touchdown because Joe Burrow is going to play a couple series. I don't get that, because outside of Joe Burrow, who's going to see, is he going to play majority of the game, Andy? No, he's going to play a couple of series. Does that mean 1? Does that mean 2? Do they go down, they get a scoring drive and they pull them out? That's what you're not positive on. Who's behind Joe Burrow? You have Jake Browning, Desmond Ritter,
and
Peyton Thorne. So these are the quarterbacks that you're going to be seeing for majority of the game. If you want to play a Bengals first quarter, be my guest. You want to play a Bengals first half, be my guest. But a whole game, the Eagles quarterbacks who are going to be seeing action, Tanner McKee, who was a major trade target for a lot of people, one of the better backups in the league. You have Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who certainly isn't any worse than Desmond Ritter. And then you also might be seeing hometown kid in Kyle McCord, who led the nation last year in passing yards, top 10 in Heisman voting. So if we're just talking quarterbacks forcing line moves, I don't get Joe Burrow playing a couple series, meaning that the Bengals should be 6.5 point favorites. So send the hate in the comments. Dan's a homer. Yeah, we know it. Give me that 6.5 with the Eagles, because just because Joe Burrow's playing a series or two, forget it, man. Give me the points with the Birds at home. Do the Eagles care about preseason? No. But has this line move gotten out of whack? If it's -4, -3, okay, I'm all in on the Bengals. But 6.5, crazy to me, because a quarterback who may not be 100% still is playing a couple series. Give me the 6.5, Andy.
Wow, you are passionate about this. You already brought it up. Bengals first half -3.5. I'm not sure you guys even score in the first half. I don't think you guys care. And let's face it, you're better than this, Dan. Your team is better than preseason. You guys don't care.
They have a little more aspirations than a preseason game.
Yes. So, seriously, Dan, look at these two teams. And doesn't it tell you about the ownership and the direction? The Bengals are playing their starters in a preseason game. That's their goal. And then the Eagles are like, no, we don't care about this because we need our guys for postseason. I have Bengals -3.5 in the first half. I do think Burrow's going to at least put up one touchdown. And if he does, I don't know if you guys even. And the other thing, the Bengals defense is terrible. They actually need the reps. They need the reps.
Their starters are bad. Roger Long points this
terrible.
out. The Bengals starters on defense are bad. What does the third or fourth string playing against a Heisman top 10 guy look like? That's just for me where it got a little bit out of whack. If you wanted to bet Cincy before the line move, more power to you. And again, in the first half, love that play, Andy. But full game, asking them to win by a touchdown plus, that's a little head scratching to me.
It's a lot, yeah. By the way, I would like to go back and add a little bit more to the Browns under 5.5 wins. Dan, they just lost the cornerback for the season, and
Oof.
Pickett is already hurt. It's like, how are you already hurt? The bad franchises are just always going to be bad franchises, man. They cannot get out of their own way. So amazing stuff. Dan, do we have Dave Mason or I haven't? We do have Dave Mason. Okay, ready to rock with Dave Mason here. Dave, we've talked onesies. We've talked NFL preseason. We've talked UFC. So, do you have experience in any of the above?
Experience. I haven't played in any of the above, but I've marketed and took bets on all the above. So I hope that's the experience you're looking for. Yeah, man, it's NFL's here, right? It's preseason, and I always get a kick out of every year you see on Twitter people saying only a degenerate would bet preseason, and that's about as opposite from being true. Or as it should be. I mean, this is the easiest time to make money on NFL during the regular season. Man, those odds are so solid, but now they're all over. I mean, I just heard you guys talking, and you know what? I'm gonna follow you on that Eagles plus 6.5. By the way, why not? You guys got me to the winner to the winner's circle last week with Neil Magny. I appreciate that. No, but I mean these odds move. I mean, they're violent. They're absolutely violent. These odds moves. Just tonight's game, Colts Ravens opened the Indy -1. That's 6.5 now. Total one from 34 to 36.5. Bengals Eagles, Birds -2 and 35. Now -6.5 and 37. Raiders Seahawks -1.5 and 34.5. That's Vegas -5 and 37 now. I mean, sharps are. I mean, I looked at our sharp action, and it's just all over the friggin' place. We're middles out there. I mean, trust me, people.
Yes.
I mean, if you think only degenerates bet on NFL preseason, that's the opposite of being true.
So, Dave, all right, pull back the curtain here a little bit. Open up. Be honest. When you move lines, is it because of sharp action or is it because of news? Like, do you move the line when it's like, oh, Anthony Richardson's going to be playing a lot? Like, is that when the line move comes for you, or is it when you take the sharp action?
Well, that's an extremely correlated thing, right? I mean, the sharps, especially in preseason, it's all about information. It's just a race for information. So many of the sharp bets, it is stuff like that, especially on the preseason. And I don't want to get the little violin out and anybody shed a tear for us, but I mean, there's so many markets up. That's why some of these sharp bettors are so good, because they can just concentrate on one league or one team, and they know everything about the Bengals, or even more like college basketball, for instance, like those small teams like Morehead State or something. There's guys that know those teams way better than we do and have more information. So that's what the true sharps do. They get that information. It's a race for information, especially with Twitter now. It's not like the old days where you're buying the newspaper of some town out in East Jabip. So yeah, I mean, it's a very correlated question. It's both, right? But
yeah.
Yeah, the sharps are definitely moving the odds more than the public, and the sharps are usually betting, or very often betting, due to news, especially in preseason. Who's playing, who's not.
Yeah, while we got you, any interesting line movements just over the weekend? I know we got the Lions and Falcons, Browns and Panthers, Commanders and Patriots tomorrow. We got games on Saturday. We got some things on Sunday. Anything that you guys have made some pretty aggressive moves on?
I mean, and I think they all have some kind of line move. Let me check real quick. Yeah, like Detroit open -1.5. They're -4 now. What's the other one that's getting a lot of sharp action? Packers. What did they open? -1. They're -3 now. So yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. There's this Patriots. That's the other one here. What was that? Sorry. Yeah, Patriots -2. That's -6.5 now. That got hit by a lot of sharps. So every damn game has sharp money on it. like every side has sharp money on it just about, and it seems like every line moved somewhat significantly. So yeah, NFL preseason here. We can't wait for the regular season to start.
This is great. You're squirming, Dave.
I'm squirming. Well, I had a long week. I had a long week, man. I had a long week. I couldn't even really pay attention to NFL this week because there's some story broke last week. I don't know if you guys are talking about it or not. I'm not going to bring it up unless you do. But that crazy story took 90% of my week doing interviews and all that stuff. So I haven't even really paid attention to NFL preseason week 1 or anything. So yeah, I'm extra squirmy this morning. I apologize.
Any sharp action on Major League Baseball today? I know we don't have too many games, but
yeah, not too many games. I got 3 for you. Marlins -110 or better. A's -138. Reds under 7 -105. That's what we got now. A little bit will come on. Probably a little bit more as the afternoon progresses.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. So Dave, what's your favorite pick for this weekend? Is it UFC, NFL? What is Dave Mason like?
Honestly, I'm on the sidelines this week. Like I said, I was swamped on some other stuff this week. I really didn't get to put my nose into anything, but I am going to tell you guys on Cincy or Philly +6.5. Go Birds. That's my team. So let's go.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Dave, tell everyone about the Survivor Pool and any NFL contests that you guys have up because Dan and I are 100% in.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate that. $1 billion Survivor Pool. It's only $30 to enter. You can enter numerous times for a discount. Right now, there's an early bird special. Buy 3, get 1 free. Again, that's $1 million guaranteed cash. I think there's going to be an overlay. Looking like there's going to be an overlay, so that's always important for the public and everybody who's playing it. Also, Spread Survivor. We're starting out $100,000 for a Spread Survivor. It's the first time we've ever done it, but there's going to be no rake, and I'm 90% sure we're going to fly over that $100,000. So every dollar we collect on top of $100,000 will be added to the pool. That's $20 to enter, I believe. So a little bit cheaper since it's the first time we're doing it and we don't really know what's going to happen, but the early numbers are good there. So, and then we're going to have the $200,000 handicapping contest too. That's free to enter. That's not live on the site yet, but that's coming soon. So yeah, man, we got NFL contest covered here at betonline.ag.
All right, and final question, Dave. I went to college for got my degree in production. I run my own production company, and yet here I am sitting here live, and I'm getting ready to ask you about a dildo. This is what it's come down to. Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but it's part of the job. Yeah. All right, talk to us about dildo props.
Yeah, man.
WNBA.
Yeah, I mean, last week, I saw a break that dildo number 1 got thrown out on the floor, and I told my props guys, I'm on a props chat with like some marketing guys, and props are always tossed around ideas. I think this is going to become a thing. I know it just because the WNBA, there's so much, controversy, and people hate it, people love it, and people are always arguing. And I knew some knuckleheads were going to throw some more dildos. I just knew it. Now, what I didn't know, it was one group. So I was like, we need odds on this. Next color, next dildo. So we put up black, brown, white, Caucasian, pink, rainbow, all sorts of stuff. And we had green at like 7-1, man, because we didn't know. We didn't know this was a group. So some kind of syndicate, some kind of green dildo syndicate out there. So we put it up at 7-1. This green dildo syndicate, they signed up and they bet that. So Friday night, dildo number 2 gets thrown out there, and we got beat up. But it was a huge story. My props manager's mad. He's like, "We're not offering dildos anymore. We got beat." I'm like, "Dude, we're offering dildos. We're offering more dildos than ever, man." This Saturday morning, we created some more markets, and it just went viral as all hell. And yeah, I mean, there's some people upset that we're offering those odds, and you shouldn't do that. And it's like, you know what? We offered dildo. This isn't the first time we offered dildo odds We offered dildo odds a few
Multiple
years
times.
ago. We offered dildo odds a few years ago when Bill's Mafia was trying to pelt Tom Brady. So don't tell me we're sexist. We're equal opportunity dildo odds providers here at betonline.ag. If there's dildos getting thrown, we're going to have odds for it.
It might be my favorite quote of all time in Wager Talk Today history. If there's dildos to be thrown, we will have odds on it. That's the best testament to why you should have betonline.ag as an out that I've ever heard. Well done.
He's the best in the business for a reason, folks. Dave Mason, betonline.ag. Dave, again, thank you so much, brother. And I use betonline.ag. I have for years. This is just me as a customer, not because we work with Dave, just because you need to have a book like betonline.ag. So, Dave, tell everyone where we can find you at.
At Dave Mason, BOL on Twitter. I tweet out all the action reports, who we need, who we don't need. And unfortunately, over the last week, way too much dildo stuff. But until the story dies, I have to keep doing this. And yes, I have a college degree too. And I have no idea what point in my life I just took the wrong turn and have resorted to doing this dildo stuff. But whatever, that still pays the bills.
All right. Adam asked real quick, does it mean we can only bet the yes dildo and we can't fade it? Just go to betonline.ag and figure out.
Yeah, we have all sorts of markets. We have all sorts of markets. Who's going to pick the dildo up? Is it a ref? Is it a player? Are they going to kick it off with their feet or with their hands? Next color, if it's not green, then it's going to be green, yes, no. And the dildo made an appearance at an MLB game. This group was sitting behind plate in Marlin. So now we have next appearance, MLB game or WNBA game. So nice little head-to-head matchup there. So, yeah.
Amazing. Dave Mason, one of the best segments of the week there. Hey, Dan, jump on here real quick. So these dildos are being these dildos are being thrown at Indiana Fever and Sophie Cunningham. Their home games are 20 minutes away from my house. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Anybody confer
we could
what
be
that
the new
means.
syndicate.
I didn't say
the new syndicate.
Anybody can take that for what it's worth. I'm just saying.
Well, and also,
I've got a good arm.
Dave led off by saying how ridiculous it is that people say, only degenerates bet the preseason. Andy, we could be degenerates that are betting dildo props. I mean, that beats betting the preseason.
Hey, look, it's been long enough that I can say it now. I think I actually bet this on betonline.ag. When the Super Bowl was here in Indianapolis, there was a prop. Will there be a flyover? And I was like, why would there be a flyover? They're in a dome and it's the middle of winter. And so I actually got into one of the committee meetings for something else I was doing business-wise. And I was able to ask, is there going to be a flyover? And the lady was like, no, why would there be a flyover? So I nailed will there be a flyover? No, just because I knew there wasn't going to be a flyover. So sometimes you make your own
information,
you make your own luck. Information and you make your own luck. So all right. Great show, everyone. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Kyle. Thank you to Nick. We're going to be back tomorrow. Join us tomorrow, guys. We're going to get you ready for the weekend. My 5% UFC best bet is up. We got some tennis plays that are available for clients, but those have already started. And we may or may not have lacrosse. I'll talk to Dan about that. But most important bet for this week, 5% UFC best bet. That is up right now over at wagertalk.com, wt.buzz. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you guys. It was a rough day yesterday, no pun intended, but it's good to be back in the saddle again. So let's do it again tomorrow. Let's get you ready for the weekend. Good luck on all your bets today, and take care.